Welcome back to day 2 of the 28-day Vitality Blueprint. Yesterday, we set the vision. Today, we get physical. We're talking about the morning pivot. Most people think their day starts when they pour their first cup of coffee. They're wrong. Your day and your longevity is decided in the 60 seconds between opening your eyes and putting your feet on the floor. If you're tired of waking up feeling like a rusted gate, today is where we install the hinges. Imagine the bedroom is still dim, the world outside hasn't quite started its roar, and you are lying there, perfectly still. This is the moment of the horizontal scan. Before you even think about the to-do list or the news, you check in with the machine. You wiggle your toes, feeling the subtle pull in your arches. You circle your ankles, hearing those familiar pops and clicks that remind you you're alive and made of moving parts. This isn't just a stretch, it's a biological ignition. You're telling your nervous system to wake up and your heart to start pushing blood a little faster to the periphery, warming up the engine before you shift into gear. Now comes the actual pivot. We've all done the frantic scramble, the sudden sitting up that makes the room spin and the lower back scream in protest. We aren't doing that anymore. Today, you move like a coordinated unit. You roll to your side, your shoulder and hip moving in a silent, synchronized dance. You use your arm as a lever, pushing the mattress away as your legs swing over the edge of the bed. This is where the magic happens, the edge of the bed equilibrium. You sit there, feet flat on the cool floor, and you breathe. You give your blood pressure permission to catch up with your posture. There's a quiet power in this pause. It's the difference between a controlled launch and a stumbling start. As you finally drive through your heels and rise, you aren't just standing, you're reclaiming your stature. You realize that by respecting these first 60 seconds, you haven't just gotten out of bed. You've established the rhythm for everything that follows. The rusted gate is gone, the hinges are oiled, and you are ready to move into your day with a poise that most people won't even find by their third cup of caffeine. Before the world demands your attention, and long before the floor meets your feet, there is the stillness. You're lying flat, the weight of the blankets still pressing against you, and your eyes have just found the ceiling. This is where we begin the horizontal scan. It is the most quiet, yet perhaps the most vital conversation you will have all day. You don't move, not yet. Instead, you send your awareness down to the very tips of your toes. You give them a small, deliberate wiggle. You aren't looking for a workout. You're looking for a signal. You're checking the connection between your mind and the furthest reaches of your body, ensuring the lines are open and clear. From the toes, you move your focus to the ankles. You perform a slow, internal inventory. Do they feel heavy? Is there a familiar stiffness in the calf? You move upward to the knees, noting any quiet protest in the joints that carried you through yesterday. You breathe into your hips, feeling the way they settle into the mattress, acknowledging any tightness in the lower back without rushing to fix it. This scan is your personal diagnostic tool. By taking these 30 seconds to assess the machine before you turn the key, you eliminate the element of surprise. You won't be caught off guard by a sharp pinch or a sudden hitch in your step, because you've already met those sensations while you were safe and supported. As your focus travels up through your spine to your shoulders and finally to your jaw, you release the tension you didn't know you were holding from a night of deep sleep. You are essentially pinging every major system, making sure the hardware is ready for the software to run. There is no judgment in this scan, only information. If a joint feels like that rusted hinge we talked about, you don't panic, you simply adjust your plan for the pivot. You're no longer a passenger in your own body, waiting to see how it feels once you're already upright and vulnerable. You are the captain of the ship, conducting a pre-flight check before leaving the hangar. With the scan complete, you have replaced the morning's usual uncertainty with a profound sense of authority. You know exactly where you stand, even before you've stood up. Now that the scan is complete and you've identified the landscape of your body, it is time to turn the key. This is the biological ignition, the moment you transition from a horizontal state of rest to a vertical state of action. Most people treat this transition like a race, jerking their torso upward the moment the alarm blares. But your body isn't a light switch. It's a complex hydraulic system that requires a steady hand. When you've been lying flat for hours, your blood has settled into a comfortable, level rhythm. A sudden, vertical snap forces your heart and your vessels to work overtime, often leading to that momentary shadow of dizziness or a slight stumble. By choosing the pivot instead of the scramble, you're giving your circulatory system a head start. As you begin to roll, you are initiating a gentle, internal wake-up call. You are telling your heart to prepare for the gravity that is about to pull at your heels. This isn't just about avoiding a head rush. It's about protecting the delicate balance of your inner ear and the precision of your nervous system. When you move with intention, you allow your blood pressure to calibrate in real time. This synchronization is the secret to true poise. By the time your feet find the carpet, your brain and your heart are already in a perfect, steady dialogue. You aren't forcing the machine into high gear. You are letting it warm up, ensuring that when you finally stand, you do so with a foundation that is as stable as it is strong. This is where balance is born, not in the strength of your legs, but in the patience of your blood. You have traded a frantic start for a calculated ignition, and in doing so, you have claimed the first victory of the day. With the scan complete and the internal systems beginning to hum, we move into the bedbound warm-up. You are still cocooned in the warmth of your sheets, but the stillness is now being replaced by a purposeful, rhythmic flow. These three movements are the oil for those rusted hinges we discussed. They're designed to lubricate the joints before they ever have to bear the burden of your weight. Think of this as the soft opening of a day's performance. We start at the furthest point, the ankle pumps. Imagine you are gently pressing down on a gas pedal, then pulling your toes back toward your shins. As you repeat this simple motion, you are manually pumping blood from your extremities back toward your heart. From the ankles, we move the energy upward to the knees and hips with the heel slide. One at a time, you slowly slide your heel toward your glutes, keeping your foot in contact with the mattress. You aren't forcing a deep stretch. You are simply encouraging the joint to move through its natural range of motion. With each slide, you are encouraging the natural fluids in your joints to circulate, coating the bone and cartilage so they glide rather than grind. It is a quiet, sliding grace that honors the complexity of your largest joints. Finally, we engage the powerhouse, the glute squeeze. This is the power pulse. You simply squeeze your seat muscles tight, hold for a breath, and release. This isn't just about strength. It is about neurological activation. You are reminding the largest muscles in your body that they are about to be called into service. By firing these muscles while you're still horizontal, you ensure they are awake and ready to stabilize your pelvis the moment you transition to standing. You have now moved from a state of passive rest to active readiness. The engine is warm, the fluids are flowing, and the machine is primed. You aren't just lying in bed anymore. You are a coiled spring of controlled vitality, ready for the turn. The warm-up is finished, the blood is moving, and now we reach the most critical transition of the morning. Most of us have spent years sitting straight up from a flat position, a move that forces the lower back to bear a sudden, heavy load it isn't prepared for. We are moving past that old habit today. We are mastering the art of the roll. This isn't just a change in position. It is a protective maneuver for the architecture of your spine. Instead of segmenting your body, you are going to move as one solid, unbreakable unit. Imagine your torso is a single, sturdy log. As you prepare to move, you don't lead with your head or your shoulders. You roll your entire body onto your side at once. Your hips and shoulders turn in perfect unison, keeping your spine in a neutral, safe alignment. There is no twisting, no torque, and no strain. You're simply shifting your orientation. As you find yourself on your side, you tuck your knees slightly toward your chest, creating a compact center of gravity. This is the moment where you stop being at the mercy of gravity and start using it to your advantage. This is where your arms become your allies. You place your top hand firmly on the mattress and use your bottom elbow as a pivot point. You aren't pulling yourself up with your neck or straining your abdominal muscles. You are pushing the world away. As your arms extend to lift your upper body, your legs naturally act as a counterweight, swinging over the edge of the bed in one smooth, cascading motion. It is a lever system that honors the laws of physics rather than fighting them. By the time your torso is upright, your feet are already hovering just above the floor. You haven't grunted, you haven't winced, and most importantly, you haven't put a single ounce of unnecessary pressure on your vertebrae. You are now sitting tall, your spine elongated and secure, having successfully navigated the most vulnerable move of the morning. You have arrived at the edge of the bed not by force, but through the quiet elegance of the roll. You are upright, you are stable, and you have protected the core of your mobility before the day has even truly begun. You have arrived at the threshold, sitting upright on the edge of the mattress with your feet dangling just above or resting lightly on the floor. In the old days, this is where you would have surged upward, driven by the sudden realization of the time or the call of the kettle. But today, you hold your position. This is the edge of the bed equilibrium, a mandatory 60-second intermission where you allow your internal world to catch up with the external one. When you transition from lying flat to sitting tall, gravity immediately begins to pull your blood toward your feet. Your heart and your vessels are remarkably efficient, but they aren't instantaneous. They need a moment to constrict and recalibrate to ensure your brain remains fully fueled. If you rush this moment, you invite that familiar, hazy curtain of dizziness, the head rush that leaves you reaching for the headboard to steady your world. By staying seated, you are practicing a form of biological patience. You're giving your nervous system the grace to find its center. Take a deep, deliberate breath here. Feel the expansion of your ribs and the grounding weight of your thighs against the mattress. As you sit, look straight ahead, letting your eyes find a fixed point on the opposite wall. This simple visual anchor helps your inner ear settle, silencing any lingering whispers of vertigo. You aren't just waiting, you are stabilizing. You are letting the orthostatic shift, that sudden change in pressure, resolve itself while you are in a safe, supported position. Notice the clarity that begins to return to your thoughts. The fog of sleep isn't being pushed away by caffeine yet. It's being cleared by the steady, even flow of oxygenated blood that has finally balanced itself within your upright frame. There is no wobbling here, no trembling in the knees. You are sitting with poise, fully present in the room, and entirely in control of your equilibrium. By honoring this pause, you ensure that your first step isn't a gamble, but a guaranteed success. You have waited for the world to stop spinning, and now, with a clear head and a steady heart, you are ready for the launch. The equilibrium has been met, the world is steady, and your mind is clear. Now comes the moment of the vertical launch. For years, you may have relied on the furniture around you, pushing off the mattress with your palms or pulling on a nearby nightstand to haul your weight upward. But today, you're going to reclaim the inherent strength of your own frame. This is the power stance, a move that shifts the responsibility of standing from your tired joints to your most capable muscles. You begin by sliding your feet slightly back, tucking your heels just behind the line of your knees. This small adjustment shifts your center of gravity forward, placing it directly over your foundation. Spread your toes wide within your socks or against the floor, feeling the four corners of each foot making firm contact. This is your anchor. You aren't just placing your feet, you are rooting them into the earth. Instead of reaching out with your hands, you fold them across your chest or reach them straight ahead to act as a counterbalance. Take a deep, stabilizing breath and lean your torso forward from the hips, nose over toes. This hinge is the secret to a handless launch. As your weight shifts onto your midfoot, you don't just try to stand, you drive the floor away from you. Imagine your legs are powerful pistons, firing in unison. You push through your heels, engaging the glutes you woke up earlier under the covers, and rise in one fluid, vertical line. As you reach full height, you don't just stop, you arrive. You stand tall, your shoulders rolling back and down, your spine long, and your head held high. There is no wobbling, no grasping for support, and no grunt of effort. You have moved from sitting to standing using nothing but the leverage of your own body and the focus of your own mind. By eliminating the crutch of your hands, you have sent a powerful message to your brain. I am strong, I am balanced, and I am in command of my own mobility. You are now fully vertical, standing with a poise that radiates authority, ready to take that first, confident step into the day. Standing tall in the center of the room, you have conquered the physical transition, but there is one final internal ignition required before you take your first true step into the day. During the long hours of the night, while your mind was dreaming, your body was quietly losing moisture through every breath and every pore. Your joints, those miraculous hinges we've been discussing, have spent the night in a state of relative drought. The synovial fluid, the natural lubricant that allows your bones to glide past one another without friction, becomes thicker, more like a heavy syrup than a slick oil. This is the sleep-dry state, the hidden reason behind that morning creakiness that often lingers long after the coffee is brewed. You move toward the kitchen, not with a hurried shuffle, but with the poise you've already established. Before you reach for the caffeine, you reach for the water. This is the first sip. As the cool liquid passes your lips, it isn't just quenching a thirst in your throat. It is a systemic irrigation. Within minutes, your body begins to transport that hydration to the areas that need it most. You are literally watering your joints. You are thinning that synovial syrup, allowing it to flow freely back into the capsules of your knees, your hips, and the small facets of your spine. There is a profound science to this simple act of replenishment. Proper hydration increases the volume of the shock-absorbing pads between your vertebrae, giving you back the cushion that gravity tries to steal. As you stand there, glass in hand, you can almost feel the microscopic shift as your tissues regain their elasticity. The stiffness that felt like a permanent part of your morning routine begins to dissolve, replaced by a supple, ready-for-anything sensation. You aren't just drinking, you are lubricating the machine from the inside out. You have moved through the scan, the pivot, and the launch, and now, with this final act of biological respect, you have ensured that every movement that follows will be fluid, effortless, and infused with vitality. You walk toward the mirror now, glass set aside, and you don't just look at your reflection, you confront it. This is the mirror check, the final calibration of your morning sequence. Most people glance at their hair or their teeth and move on, but you're looking for the architecture. You're looking for the vitality plumb line. You stand tall, and for the first time today, you consciously align the heavy centers of your body. You check that your ears are stacked directly over your shoulders, not jutting forward as if you were chasing the next hour. You roll your shoulders back and down, letting them melt away from your neck and ensure they sit squarely over your hips. As you observe yourself, you imagine a silver thread attached to the crown of your head, gently lifting you toward the ceiling. This isn't just a physical adjustment. It is a psychological shift. When you correct your posture, you're signaling to your own nervous system that you're capable, alert, and resilient. You look at your eyes and see the clarity that comes from the hydration and the deliberate pace of your eyes. There's a quiet poise in the way you hold your chin, not tilted in defiance, but level in confidence. You aren't just a person who got out of bed. You are an individual who has engineered their own readiness. You take one final breath, watching your chest rise and fall with a steady, rhythmic grace. This version of you, the one standing in the mirror right now, is the one the world is about to meet. You have traded the slumped shoulders of fatigue for the open, expansive frame of vitality. You have oiled the hinges and set the alignment. The mirror check is complete, and as you turn away, you carry that invisible plumb line with you, into every room you enter. You're no longer reacting to the day, you're leading it. As you turn away from a mirror, the physical choreography of the morning is complete, but there is one final piece of the blueprint to lock into place before you cross the threshold into the rest of your life. You begin the walk toward the kitchen, the heart of the home, and the true starting line of the day's demands. In the past, this walk might have been a mindless trek, a transition fueled by the urgent need for caffeine or the weight of an impending to-do list. Today, however, your gait is different. Your footsteps are deliberate, your spine remains long, and your mind is not racing ahead. It is anchored right here in the present. This is the mental anchor. It is the single, stabilizing thought that prevents the morning's poise from evaporating the moment you smell the coffee or hear the news. As you feel the cool tile or the soft rug beneath your feet, you whisper this realization to yourself. I am the architect of my own momentum. You aren't just a person moving through a house. You are a captain steering a vessel that has been meticulously prepared for the voyage. You have oiled the hinges, checked the gauges, and fueled the engine. You have replaced the rusted gait of habit with the polished precision of intent. This anchor is what keeps you from leaking your vitality as the day speeds up. When the phone rings or the kettle whistles, you don't react with a frantic start. You respond with the same measured grace you used to roll out of bed. You carry this thought into the kitchen like a hidden treasure. It reminds you that while you cannot control what the world throws at you over the next 16 hours, you have already won the first and most important battle. You have mastered the pivot. You're moving with an authority that wasn't given to you. It was built second by second before you even left the room. With your anchor set firmly in the bedrock of your own capability, you reach for the handle of the cupboard, not as a tired passenger of time, but as the master of your own movement. As you settle into your morning rhythm, perhaps feeling that first warmth of tea or the fresh clarity of your water, you realize that the power and poise you've cultivated today are only as strong as the base they stand upon. You have mastered the pivot and the vertical launch, and you've aligned your posture like a work of art. But tomorrow, we look downward. We look at the 26 bones and 33 joints that form the literal foundation of your existence. Most of us treat our feet like forgotten employees, stuffing them into rigid shoes and ignoring them until they cry out in protest. But if the foundation is stiff or neglected, even the most graceful structure above it will eventually begin to lean. Tomorrow, on day 3 of your blueprint, we're going to focus on the foundation. We'll learn how to wake up the thousands of sensory nerves in your soles and how to restore the natural spring to your arches. We'll explore why foot health is the secret weapon of the truly vital. Those individuals who walk with a confidence that never seems to falter regardless of the terrain. You've spent today reclaiming your morning. Tomorrow, we'll ensure that every step you take for the rest of your life is built on a bedrock of stability. For now, move through your world with the authority you've just discovered. Stand tall, breathe deep, and know that you are already well on your way. I'll see you tomorrow when we start from the ground up.